video, we talked about mistake number 4, not creating a website and only creating a Facebook business page. And I mentioned that this is a mistake because you don't own any of the information on Facebook. This means that if Facebook were to disappear, you would essentially lose your business and contacts. Now, creating a website and driving traffic to your website helps you to have more control. And this leads us to mistake number 5, not choosing an ideal client and thinking that you can tutor anyone in the area that you tutor. My name's Joanne Kaminsky, and I have been tutoring reading online since 2010 and helping online tutors start or grow their online tutoring business since 2012. When I ask new tutors who their ideal client is, they often look at me with a confused look on their face. In their mind, anyone who's struggling in math, reading, or science is a potential client. So they're often thinking about the student, but the student is not the one that is going to be hiring you. The parent is, and the parent wants to know that you understand what their child is going through. Now, my ideal client is a parent who has a child struggling in reading from grades 1 to 6. Does this mean that I don't take students that are older or younger? No, it means that I'm targeting my marketing information to people that have kids this age. If I wanted to target my marketing to high school or adults, their goals are very different, and it becomes difficult to market to all 3 groups and feel like I'm the best fit for them. An adult that's struggling with reading usually wants to get better so that they can get a better job. A high school student that's struggling wants to do well on their ACT, SAT, or increase their grades so that they can get into the college that they want to get into. Whereas I have found that my superpower is to be helping kids that have a reading gap in the early years. And these can be kids with dyslexia or other kids that are struggling, but this is my sweet spot. This means that I can really go deep with the content for those, find those holes, and help them become a more accurate, faster reader in a shorter amount of time than most people can. Now, people want to hire experts to help their children. And my ideal client is looking for an expert. They're not looking for their next door neighbor kid who can help with reading. They are looking for an expert and are willing to pay an expert what they are worth. Is it true that anyone can help a child with learning to read? Sure, but they won't have the experience or the knowledge that I have. And I know that this automatically means that there are a bunch of kids that aren't going to be able to that I can't help because the parents can't afford it. And I have to be okay with this. However, I have found that families who value hiring me can afford it, and they are able to find a way to pay for it. And once a family puts a priority for tutoring in place, they're usually able to shift funds to make it happen. I've had people that are on food stamps find a way to be able to hire me for my services. And these dedicated parents who have kids that are struggling with reading are the ones that I want to help. Often the parents that I work with have tried other things before hiring me. They've tried reading with their child, they've tried summer school, and maybe even working with another tutoring company before. It is not necessary that they have tried these things, but knowing this is what some of them has done helps me target my message to them as to why I will be able to help their child. Now, if you have ever taken a marketing course in the past, you will see that choosing an ideal client is extremely important. And what I teach people about starting their own online tutoring business is that we need to run our tutoring business like a business and not a hobby or a job. Learning these business principles helps me to speak to my ideal client and let them know that I understand where they are at in the process right now. And when you know who your ideal client is, you can begin to think about where they hang out online. You can brainstorm blogs that they read, Facebook groups that they're on, YouTube channels that they watch. You can begin collaborating with people that already have connections with your ideal client and get in front of audiences that are bigger than yours. You can create content that will give your ideal client a way to know, like, and trust you before they ever hire you so that you can spend time teaching and less time convincing people to move forward with you. And one of the most important factors about your ideal client is they want to feel like you actually care about them. Do you enjoy working with parents like them? Do you enjoy working with kids like theirs? If you do, you're going to come off in an authentic way that lets them know that you truly care about their child and their educational success. So who is your ideal client? And this goes beyond their age and where they live, although it could be important to know what country your ideal client lives now that you have the ability to tutor kids all over the world. But here are 5 questions that can help you really understand your ideal client better. Number 1, what are some things that your ideal client, the parent, and the child are thinking? Number 2, What is your ideal client and the student feeling about their abilities? Number 3, what are some of the things that your ideal client is already doing to help their child? Or what is the child doing to get additional help? Number 4, what are some things that your ideal client is seeing? Are other kids getting ahead of their child? Is their child struggling to complete homework at night? Bad grades, temper tantrums? Number 5, what are some things that your ideal client is hearing? Possibly at a parent-teacher conference, you might be hearing something like they should go to summer school or read more at home. Next, you want to think about what your ideal client's dreams and fears are. And once you've jotted this information down, you're going to be able to have words that you can use to connect with your ideal client. It's going to show that you understand where they are at, and you can never underestimate the power of this understanding. So, who is your ideal client? Think about both the parent and the child. This way, whenever you are creating resources, blog posts, sharing messages on social media, or images on Instagram, you will have the ability to connect on a deep and emotional level instead of a surface level. If you have enjoyed this episode, please hit the thumbs up button below and hit subscribe. And if you're interested in learning about the other 24 mistakes that online tutors make, hit the bell so that you can be notified as soon as it comes out. Now, in the next video, we're going to be talking about mistake number 6, listing all of the areas that you teach. I want to make sure that you learn how to identify with your ideal client and they understand what you can do for them. Thanks for watching. I'm Joanne Kaminsky, and here's till next time.